Top 10 Logias in One Piece. Number 10. Kurasu. A commander of the North Army in the Revolutionary Army. Originally thought to have some type of Paramecias fruit that turns him into a murder of crows. It was revealed in the manga, spoiler alert, that he had actually eaten a Logia type devil fruit, the Soot fruit, allowing him to produce, control, and even turn into soot. He just likes to fashion them into flocks of crows because he's as obsessed with people gaining their freedom as he is with black birds. Number 9. Smoker. Smoker, the White Hunter, is a Marine Vice Admiral and a commander of the G5 Marine Base. He is kind to people that the Marines are sworn to protect, but don't take his kindness for weakness, because he is a brutal monster to his enemies. Carrying around a sea stone jite, he can use it to neutralize the powers of criminals and pirates who are devil fruit users, who would otherwise use their abilities to get one up on Smoker. And he is an amazing combatant, both proficient in his devil fruit power and the usages of Haki. Mainly armament Haki to keep things even with those who believe they could use their own armament Haki to get past his Logia smoky abilities. Since the smoke fruit that he ate allows him to control, turn into, and produce smoke to evade and confuse his foes. Number 8. Crocodile, aka the Desert King, aka Mr. Zero. Not only was Crocodile the former president of Baroque Works, an assassination syndicate, he was also a former warlord of the seas, being given the A-OK by the government to do whatever he wanted. And even after he was betrayed by them and arrested, he would later be freed and then go on to be one of the co-leaders of the Cross Guild, an infamous business crew ran by a current Yonko. And it was the power of his sand fruit that allowed him to reach such heights and statuses. Because not only could it turn him into sand, allow him to produce sand and control it, but it also granted him the ability to absorb water out of any physical object he got in contact with. Too bad this top tier ability would also be its greatest weakness. Number 7. Ace and Sabo. The reason why these guys share the same place is because they ate the same fruit, and one sacrificed himself, allowing the other one to be great, even though they're both great Logias and even greater brothers. Eating the Mara fruit granted them the power to control fire, create fire, and even turn into fire, which is why that fruit is known and coveted for being one of the strongest Logia fruits. But unfortunately, even powerful Logia fruits have superior versions. But thanks to the devil fruit cycle, the Mara fruit was given a second chance with a different brother. Cause Ace might have been a really strong pirate, but Sabo is definitely a mighty rebellious warrior, who not just inherited his fruit, but the will of Ace as well, looking after Luffy while also running towards his own dreams. Number 6. Zoans. Formerly known as Aokiji by his marine allies, he was once one of the top 3 marine admirals and only left the Marines after being beamed by Akainu for the position of fleet admiral. During his time with the Marines, though, he embodied the term lazy justice, as he only acted when he absolutely needed to. Zoans was a good guy, though. He was just very conflicted as he was seeing all of the inconsistencies in how the Marines should behave. He eventually wandered the seas long enough, as he is one of the few devil fruit users able to freely do so through his He no Mi, which allows him to turn into, produce, and control ice, freezing stuff solid like people, places, and things, that he eventually met Blackbeard and became one of his 10 Titanic captains, making his future truly unsure. Number 5. Aramaki, better known by his allies as Ryokyugyu, a mysterious fellow who lay back in the shadows until he had to act. This new Marine Admiral ate the Mori no Mi, aka the Woods fruit, allowing him to turn into, control, and even create flora of all kinds, making him a forest human that can literally create an entire forest of vegetation. A walking Garden of Eden who embodies the term determined justice, which is close to absolute justice, one that's carried by the fleet admiral he admires so much. And he is friendly and jovial towards his allies when not in battle, but turns into a full-on beast when fighting his enemies, and shows no mercy when sucking you dry. Pause. Number 4, Barcelino, aka Kizaru. Kizaru ate the glint fruit, aka the Pika Pika no Mi, which allows this Marine Admiral to be able to create, control, and even turn into light. Pure light, which we all know is super fast, which means Kizaru has the greatest speed feats in the verse. But speed ain't everything, as hockey users and some Devil Fruit users still find ways to avoid his infinite reach. But speed still equals power, as his kicks on impact still pack insane force as he's coming at you at light speed. He can also generate clones out of light to confuse his enemies, generate light swords to slash at his opponents, and even shoot lasers out of light out of his fingertips to shoot through any physical object. Number 3, Enel. Enel was a Birkin who was the former tyrannical ruler of Skypiea. He destroyed his homeland and then took over Skypiea through the insane power of the Goro Goro no Mi, which allows its user to not only be able to control and produce lightning, but to also be able to turn into lightning. And for the invincible power it bestows upon its user, Enel's Rumble Fruit is seen as one of the greatest Devil Fruits that you can ever be lucky enough to stumble upon. And the only reason Enel ended up losing against a pre-time skip Luffy is because Luffy was even luckier than him to have a Devil Fruit that was his Devil Fruit's sole weakness, because rubber can't conduct electricity. Number 2, Sakazuki, aka Akainu. Once an admiral, now the fleet admiral, this believer in absolute justice ate the magma fruit, allowing him to control, turn into, and even produce magma. He is a definite mad Chad, so much so that even the One Piece author himself, Oda, said that if Akainu was the main character of the story, he would be able to find the One Piece in under 2 years, son. And after seeing Akainu show so much determination and resolve behind his own personal beliefs, being so unbendable to not even show mercy to his own subordinates, after killing them for deciding to run away instead of dying fighting pirates, I can see why Oda believes so heavily in that statement. Number 1, Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard. This mischievous pirate has been busy swindling his way into being almost everything that's been deemed important in the One Piece world. He's been a pirate captain, a Chichibukai, and is now currently a Yonko of the current pirate era, trying to work his way into becoming the king of his own pirate island country. And all of this was made possible after he ate the Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit, which is like the most uniquely bizarre Logia devil fruit. Not just allowing him to be able to produce, control, and turn into darkness, but it works just like a black hole, sucking everything into him and even canceling out Devil Fruit users' powers. It even allowed him some way to obtain Whitebeard's destructively powerful Quake Fruit, with the only downside being he can't go intangible like a Logia. Top 10 Paramecias in One Piece. Number 10, Brook. Brook ate the Revive fruit, so even after he passed away, his soul remained, possessing the hollow husk turned skeleton that was once his body. He got to be a pirate once again, and what's greater than a second chance? And as a wandering soul, he can go anywhere without worries or limitations. Even if his body ends up breaking, he'll still be alive. Still be dead though. And with becoming a ghost allowed him to have a better understanding of souls, to where he can affect them through his music and his blade. Being able to pull the super cold temperatures from the underworld, he can freeze people solid. And with possessing his light skeletal body, he's super light on his feet. His soul has never been so powerful. He can even go against a Yonko, and that's why he's number 10. Number 9, Magellan. Magellan's so high up because he ate the venom fruit, and his poison can kill almost anything. But the only reason he ain't higher because there's a few people his poison can't kill. But that's okay, because when you can coat yourself in it, and anyone that ends up touching you most likely will end up dying, makes you a strong combatant either way. And being able to not just generate poison, but also be able to control it, making him similar to a Logia, yeah, Magellan is a very strong character. No wonder they made him head of Impel Down, until he got knocked into being Vice Warden. I mean, you think when you can create a giant venom demon that can literally incinerate through stone and that you can control, that you'd be top class. But I guess the only thing it can't burn through is plot armor. Sorry, Magellan. Number 8, Eustace Kid. Being one of the prime supernovas, being a rival to Law and Luffy. This pirate's a killer like his right-hand man. He even lost an arm to a Yonko but kept going, so you know he's about the smoke. Cause he kept fighting Yonkos, man. He wasn't afraid. And it was all made possible through his devil fruit, the magnet fruit, the Jiki no Mi, allowing him to pull and push, attract and repel all forms of metal through electromagnetism, which gets Captain Kidd to be punk rock, allowing him to put a shock to your system. Whether it's a giant metal arm to replace the one he lost or a giant epic mech, this dude is an awesome mechanic. Too bad he couldn't make plot armor. Number 7, Fujitora. And his gravity devil fruit, the Zushi no Mi, aka the press fruit. Out with the old and in with the new, I always say. Fujitora is one of the 2 Marine admirals brought in to replace the other 2, since one got kicked out and the other one became fleet admiral. But don't think he's a lackluster substitution. This guy can bring down meteors. He's no joke. And he's a blind swordsman that can run with the top master swordsman. Is there anything this guy can't do? Especially because his gravity devil fruit allows him to manipulate gravity in all forms of ways, even allowing him to make things float and fly and control wherever they fall. Yeah, Fujitora is no joke. Too bad I don't have the gravity devil fruit to place him higher. Number 6, Doflamingo. Doflamingo has the power of the string fruit, and trust me, it's more versatile than you could possibly imagine. Allowing him to control people like puppets on a string, this master marionette is scarier in more ways than one. He can send out his strings long distances instantly, and can attach them to almost anything, even clouds, allowing the Birdman to even simulate flight. He can even reach his own strings inside his own body to patch up internal injuries and bleeding, make clones of himself, and because he's such a hockey boss, he can even turn the world around him into strings and control that too, creating unbreakable strings that can literally rip through anything. And he's such a cool master puppeteer. Too bad he's in prison. Number 5, Katakuri. Charlotte Katakuri is a boss. Too bad he's not head of the Big Mom family. He probably could have taken him to greater heights, with never accepting defeat unless it's by a real one like Luffy. This donut lord ate the mochi fruit, allowing him to turn his own body into mochi, which doesn't seem like much, so why is he so high up on the list? It's because this Paramecias user is OP. He makes up for it with broken hockey powers like Future Sight or his ridiculously strong armament hockey. with the cherry on top of Conqueror's Haki and the fact that he awoke in his devil fruit, allowing him to turn the whole world around him into mochi and control it. And with being a special Paramecia, he's special in more ways than one. That's why people bought into the whole he came out of the womb never laying on his back thing. Number 4, Charlotte Linlin, aka Big Mom. A Yonko after a buffet owner's heart, this queen pirate ate the soul fruit. And it's so hacks because she can literally, with its power, take your lifespan, however much she wants if you're afraid of her, and add it onto her own as a bitter cherry on top. And she can put the souls of her victim and pieces of her own soul into inanimate objects to give them life. These living objects are then called homies and obey her every command. And when you combine it with the fact that she can combine with homies made from her own soul for even more incredible power, yeah, it's just another reason to add on to the pile of why Big Mom's hacks. Number 3, Jewelry Bonnie. Now, Bonnie ate the age fruit, but this is where it gets tricky. Spoilers ahead! Now, don't say I didn't warn you. Bonnie is an actual kid. The age she presents herself to be isn't the age she actually is. And that's because the age fruit allows the user to change the age of both themselves and others to whatever they want it to be. So she can turn people into toddlers and infants, or even old geezers about to die. And she can do even freakier things than that, because it is said the younger you are, the greater your abilities with the age fruit is, allowing you to turn into infinite possible future outcomes of yourself as long as you believe in it.
Number 2, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. And that's because Law's Api no Mi is OP, bro. For a pirate who's also a doctor, this devil fruit was made for him. Basically allowing him to create spaces around himself that acts as his own operation room, where he can freely take people apart and rearrange their bodies and anatomies to however he wants, honestly. He can switch bodies and body parts with objects around the space in an instant. It also allows the user to generate electrical energies that brings the shock to his enemies like a defibrillator. And one more reason as to why this devil fruit is so OP, but in a contrasting way to Law, is for its ability to grant eternal youth upon a person, but from the sacrifice of life of the user. Which is why it's so highly coveted, awakened or not, but it's also the reason why Law isn't number 1.
Number 1, Blackbeard. It was Whitebeard then, it's Blackbeard now. Seen as the devil fruit with the power to destroy the world, the Quake fruit literally allows its user to generate powerful shockwaves both on land and sea. But if you also get really good with it, you can also generate those powerful shockwaves through the air as well. And through said powerful shockwaves, you can create tsunami waves and destructive earthquakes, big enough to destroy entire islands. Just imagine it, sailing around with buster calls in the palm of your hands. And yeah, Whitebeard was definitely a strong person, but it was obvious to everyone that his devil fruit was how he obtained Yonko status. But with his passing, it has reached a new user, Blackbeard, who has already consumed a Logia devil fruit, the seemingly strongest Logia devil fruit, the darkness fruit, with the strongest Paramecias devil fruit, the Quake fruit, is the reason why the new Yonko Blackbeard is number 1 on this list.
Top 10 Zoans in One Piece. Number 10, Tony Choppa. Tony Choppa was a reindeer that ate the Hito no Mi, human fruit. This fruit, to any normal person, would have been the most worthless devil fruit, because all it does is turn you into a human. But if you're already a human, then it cancels out the power. But if you're an animal, it not only allows you to turn yourself into a human or a hybrid, but it gives you a human's greatest ability, understanding. And from that, Choppa gained aspirations to become a doctor. He became super smart and created the Rumble Balls, which allows him to manipulate a Zoan's ability to transform.
giving him a whole plethora of different forms for different situations. So even though he wants to heal the world, his devil fruit gave him the power to wreck it. Number 9, Sengoku. Sengoku is the retired fleet admiral that ate the Hito no Mi model Daibutsu, aka the human fruit model Buddha. And it's strong. It's a mythical Zoan that allows Sengoku to transform into a giant golden Buddha statue. Like, how the hell does that work? I still don't know. All I do know is it gives Sengoku a lot of destructive power. Like, not only does it make him huge, it makes him extremely strong and allows him to generate shockwaves from his hand, allowing him to wipe out groups of fodder with just one push of his palm. Did I mention he's huge in gold? He may be number 9 on this list, but he'll always be number 1 to Donald Trump. Number 8, Queen. Queen is one of Kaido's commanders and ate the dragon fruit model Brachiosaurus, an ancient Zoan devil fruit which makes it way stronger than a regular one, allowing him to turn into one of the largest dinosaurs in the prehistoric world, a Brachiosaurus, which gives him not just a size advantage over most of his enemies, but also a strength one as well, and boosts his durability to its zenith so he can take a lot of damage, as well as dish it out as well, because it turns out Queen is also a cyborg. So just like with many Zoans, it boosts not just his physical abilities, but also his cyborg ones as well. He can shoot out lasers and have many forms from both his Zoan and cyborg powers as well. He's the best of both worlds. Number 7, Rob Lucci. Lucci is a CP0 agent that ate the Neko no Mi modeled leopard, aka the cat fruit modeled leopard. This, like most Zoan devil fruits, drastically boosts all of Lucci's physical abilities. And because it's a carnivorous Zoan, means he is much more suited for combat than others. Now, with anyone having this devil fruit, it would simply make them dangerous, but because it was Rob Lucci, who was dangerous ever since he was a kid, assassinating groups of adults much bigger than he was, through his mastery of Rokushiki and the knowledge and resources he gains from being a CP agent, Rob Lucci has always been just a wildcat on a leash just waiting for his next meal. But to think he'd make this list just off of Neko power proves that Rob Lucci is a genuine leopard god. Number 6, King. King the Conflagration is one of the all-stars of Kaido's beast pirates, and he's part of the near-extinct race of Lunarians, but that's not why he's on this list. It's because his devil fruit, the Ryu no Mi model Pteranodon, makes him king of the skies. Not only is he a master at producing destructive flames because of his Lunarian blood, but he is also a whiz at aerial combat, plus he knows his way around a sword. But don't expect this man to fight fair. He'll do whatever it takes to win, only following Kaido because he believes Kaido is truly the reincarnation of Joy Boy. Well, he did for a time before he dismissed that theory. But Kaido's ridiculously strong, so it only makes sense his right hand would be right there below him. Number 5, Yamato. Yamato, when he was a starving child, accidentally ate the Inu no Mi model Okuchi no Makami, aka the dog fruit model largemouth pure god, which just so happens to be a mythical Zoan based off the deification of the extinct Japanese wolf, or as Kaido would call it, the guardian of Wano. Now, the Odin-obsessed Yamato grew up to be very strong, especially since he wanted to be very much like Odin. But this powerful mythical Zoan devil fruit allowed him to even be able to throw hands with his all-powerful old pops Kaido, allowing him not just the power to turn into a hybrid or full-on beast form, but to also have the power to generate and control ice. Yeah, Yamato definitely deserves his spot on this list. Number 4, Marco the Phoenix. Marco's devil fruit gives him the awesome power to regenerate from almost
every type of wound given from almost every type of attack. It also gives him the ability to, of course, turn into a phoenix, which grants him the power to fly and also boost up all of his strengths and attack power. And as a phoenix, he holds power over his mythical blue flames, which he can use to heal others. Because they don't burn like real flames, but they hold the power to boost the regenerative abilities of other life forms. But there's always a catch to such hacks' power, and that is there's the limit to the regeneration that Marco can place upon himself and others. But regardless, because he's so hard to kill and hits so much harder is the reason why even without flying he's so high on this list. Number 3, Kaido. Now, I ain't gonna say his devil fruit got him to Yonko status, because Kaido was already a beast before he started up the Beast Pirates and became a Yonko. I mean, he was rolling with the Rocks Pirates, who were arguably the best of the best, though they still got mollywopped by Goldie Roger and Garps. Kaido's strength is still nothing to underestimate. And his devil fruit is the cherry on top, the Uo Uo no Mi model Siryu, aka the Fish no Mi model Azura Dragon, which gives him all the unbelievable destructive power of a giant blue dragon. And count him up, whether it's flying, manipulating the weather, shooting out powerful heat blasts that can decimate towns and mountains. And when he gets into his hybrid form, you know you're about to receive the beating of your lifetime. Number 2, all of the Gorosei and Inu. Spoiler alert for things that have happened in the manga. Now, the reason I tied these guys all up on number 2 is because all of their powers seem to be the same. Now, don't get me wrong, it all seems to be mythical zones for different types of yokai, but they all seem to have something darker, stranger in the mix, which is allowing for these different types of yokai abilities to be boosted beyond the norm. Garcia Saturn is the Gyuki, Marcus Mars is the Itsumare, Topman Walkery is the Hoki, Venus Juro is the Bokutsu, and Jupiter is the Sandworm. All different types of yokai powers that seems binded by some type of demonic power that goes way beyond the norms of devil fruits. And it seems Eamon's at the center of that demonic power, having his own zone type. Number 1, Monkey D. Luffy, aka the Sun God Nika. Originally, we all thought that Luffy's devil fruit was a Paramecias type, the Gum Gum fruit. Also one of the weakest type fruits, because of how hard it is to use or master. But good old Luffy, our main character, never gave up. He trained for many years until he did master the fruit and became a force to reckon with. Yeah, no one was gonna stop this guy from becoming Pirate King. But on his many adventures with his Nakama, he learned more and more about what his fruit was capable of. Until we later found out it wasn't even a Paramecias, it was a zone type devil fruit, and seemingly one of the most powerful devil fruits in the world, the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, a mythical zone type that turns Luffy into the Sun God Nika in his Gear 5th form. Definitely deserving of the future Pirate King. Top 10 non-devil fruit users in One Piece. Number 10, Usopp. Usopp is the number 1 marksman of the Straw Hat crew, and bro, he does his job well and efficiently. No one thought this dude would ever become a warrior, but he got stronger and stronger with each adventure. The man even developed amazingly sharp observation haki like his old absentee pops. And after that 2-year time skip, he definitely got a glow up. Not only getting buffed out, but even getting new pop greens to create some amazingly deadly shots. I mean, Usopp utilizes weaponized plants to take stronger opponents down a notch. Talk about being an underdog that has a bite as big as his bark, and is definitely much closer to being a great warrior of the sea. Number 9, Nami. Nami, being the exceptional navigator of the Straw Hat crew, means one thing, and that's she's one you want to be sailing with in tough waters. But when it comes time to battle, guess what? She's also no pushover. She was already mean and quick with a staff, but once she got that climb attack, bro, there was no going back. Weather attacks like conjuring up bolts of lightning or gusts of wind became like second nature to her. And once she partnered up with Big Mom's homie Zeus, yeah, talk about it being Jover. It leveled her up to an extreme category 5 most pirates can't handle in the New World, even if they have devil fruit powers. It just goes to show, if you selling with the Straw Hats, regardless if you're a devil fruit user, you're still gonna be very strong. Number 8, Sanji. Now, Sanji Vinsmoke is the cook of the Straw Hat crew, and the reason why he's 8 on this list is because he's simply great. A great cook, a great combatant, and an overall reliable, great crewmate to have. And he doesn't hit women regardless of the pain to himself. Talk about being a respectable guy. And he's incredibly fast. I mean, if you underestimate him, trust, it'll only take him a second to close the gap to get up close and personal. And deliver an Ifrit Jambe like you wouldn't believe. And it doesn't even matter if you're in the sky or the sea, he can skywalk and blue walk to get to you. Making this blonde chef clutch when it comes to rescue missions or scouting missions, as well as when you have an empty stomach. Number 7, Garp. Now, Garp might be old, but he sure shows that even with age dulling your strength, if you truly work hard enough, you can still push mountains. Being a true inspiration of what Marines should be, he never goes back on his word. And truly lives a life deserving of the people of the D clan, just smiling away regardless of the struggle. It truly goes to show where Monkey D. Dragon and Monkey D. Luffy got their grit and strength from. From this true original gangsta, Monkey D. Garp. And even though both Luffy and Dragon didn't go on the path of the Marine, there are still some young bloods that are willing to get taught by this old hero and become stronger and better for it. So who says an old dog can't teach a new pup new tricks? Number 6, Kobe. Now, Kobe is one of the very few characters we started the story of One Piece with, and even though it was very brief, Luffy inspired the heck out of this kid, making sure he doesn't let anyone stand in his way of becoming a great Marine. And soon after that, he met another Monkey D, who not only trained him, but inspired him to be the best he could be, pulling out the hidden potential inside him to become a great Marine hero that can save anyone. Kobe learned how to truly scrap with the best of them while still making sure to look out for innocence. And now he has the power, especially with his honesty impact, to be able to take out an island's worth of wicked pirates. We always knew you had it in you, Kobe. That's why you're on this list. Number 5, Silver's Rayleigh. Now, you had to know this man was going to be on this list. I mean, he was the right-hand man of the original Pirate King, and he has been confirmed to not have a devil fruit power, which of course is why I put him on this list. Now, yes, Rayleigh is in his golden years, and he is far past his heyday, but he still has monstrous hockey, which alone is a feat. And when you're able to pull up on current Yonkos and that either makes them pause or hesitate, again, that is a feat. Even Marine admirals have to think twice when facing up with this guy, and was the very reason why Luffy during the time skip was trained up to be strong enough to face up against Doflamingo and Katakuri. He's definitely looking out for them youngsters. Number 4, Ben Beckman. Now, Ben Beckman hasn't had that many times to shine, but the few times we have seen of him proves why he is the right-hand man of the captain of a Yonko crew. That's right, Ben Beckman's the first mate of the Red Hair Pirates led by the current Yonko Shanks. And he's a first-rate marksman, but don't let that fool you because he is brutal when it comes to close combat. And Shanks' crew is infamous for having a surplus of non-devil fruit users, which forces us to deduce that most of them must be monsters at utilizing hockey as seen in Film Red. even though it's said to be non-canon. Either way, when Ben Beckman's time in the sun comes, it will indeed be impressive.
Number 3, Mihawk. Dracula Mihawk, bro, ain't playing no games. He's a surgeon with a blade, a certified demon with a sword. And he owns the title of the world's #1 swordsman, a title that he claimed after beating the current Yonko Shanks in a sword fight. He was so good at what he does that he even became one of the 7 Shichibukais that sells for the Marines. With the deal being he gets to do whatever he wants but helps the Marines from time to time. Eventually that deal broke down, especially when the Marines figured they could just clone him into a Seraphim. But he even went on to level up Buggy into becoming a current Yonko by joining his cross guild with Crocodile. So this monster of a swordsmaster is what Zoro is aiming to be, so it just goes to show how much Zoro is aiming high.
Number 2, Zoro. Which makes sense because Roronoa Zoro is number 2, aka the right-hand man of the Straw Hats. With his dream being the #1 swordsman in the world. And after losing that sword fight with Mihawk, he was more than ever determined to make his dream come true. And he proves it every day with his actions, showing how OP this man can be, especially when using Haki. Whether it's slashing a mountain in half, a meteor in half, even slashing a miniature sun in half. Zoro more than shows why Luffy, the future Pirate King, can always count on him to get his back regardless of how tough the challenge may be, whether it's Yonkos or Marine Admirals. Zoro will cut them down a notch so Luffy can lay them out. Cause that's what a right hand does.
Number 1,
Shanks. Yep, red hair Shanks is number 1. I mean, he's a Yonko without a devil fruit power, his crew's insane without devil fruit powers, and he's missing an arm, but he makes up for it by having insane amounts of monstrous conqueror's Haki. Plus, as a kid, he used to sail with the Pirate King, inherited his wheel, his hat, and even passed on the hat to who might very well be the next Pirate King. And also, yeah, the only reason I didn't put Roger at number 1 is because it's yet to be confirmed if he had a devil fruit power. Same with Monkey D. Dragon. But once it is fully confirmed, I'll change this list. But for now, Shanks, yep, he's number 1. Especially because he's going for the One Piece now, so who knows where this story's gonna go. I'll just say if he doesn't get it, he definitely got number 1 here. If you enjoyed this top 10 video, then please press that like button as it helps with the YouTube algorithm and allows me to make more top 10 videos like this one. Ring that notification bell so you know first when a video like this drops. And comment down below who your top 10 non-devil fruit users would be. And until the next video, like, share, subscribe, and follow, and stay great.